Yema munyina dwuma makwa baba United Television so arishimama yakase boy saka efi o mayimu na fama hodo bi so no samu fa so no so de aman adɔhwe bakwa da ani mu ye di fi ye studios a worship house eba ababesom na ye ka mo say special sinsuo any special drink this way and finish fufu need abekwan wo mu de so yase a ye de kase boyi ebrem na de ebedi mu akotene bi and say Genesia speaker see ye e na se bedwam say dwama komako enan adampan no ene Supreme Court atwi say Genesia no asensai
Nana isi Ghana Freedom Party the yi regional ho senka wo mambe ye presidential candidate en fa ma ekuo no ye you know efreme wo nhwehwe ya wo mo ye ehwemu
ye be kwa ma no se tawuna fi ya ba na fi ya bebidin ko bidin e di eja kwabna me ne
Nana Ekia Kobi
na yenkwa na ye ne onunyafo afanyoma ken wo no e na ode sa asemu kokodan court science no gidi se ne ma bi nheda entwa yi first speaker Genesia will see yes ye amase dwama komako enan adampa amase bedwam ayekona bra ne Supreme Court se ginaye onabo afanyoma ken so temeka ye majo na me bisa se de ohwehwe na wonsa kan ya na
ozikan madawana se wo akonya ozama mejiz da Ghana fo hwehwe na Ghana fo nyina wonsa kan kabna mi kabi trade Mentumwasi biba was it done court? No court akamasa. So me just there, Yankopon ever that I say. Then the court ebuasamno. Ma yetum yehu the bia Granada. The speaker Nituma obe declare seat vacant. The obi or court.
Honorable Pacho Pejani kakrama ya wa na woni wo fon adaroma.
Pacho yo. Me say and the court akasa the speaker Nituma also pronounced seats vacant and Oye MPP majority caucus will remain as the majority caucus. In Tinyankopon Yadanase, they are expecting the speaker will take steps now. Wafre yina nkanka ne microphone NDC fono onye wakasa na wa mo wen hu de za warrior no ye na wakata be be the what na abeni djuma akaw de parliament yetumi aye.
They are working be say speaker need to me say obe declare seat be vacant. Why na omeyi emre mu no obetumi declare say seat we e vacant.
Court. By a court for job.
Enti na speaker anamutu otu ye na wo se enye no. Anya bia wo si gina ye ana say mo mra mo de adwuma mra se bedwam no. Eno na oka ho asem ana say mrapon no na okirechirem so ye taka na interpretation no.
Well, issue assembly nyinara gina mrapon no do. Nti na meka chene de ma onto the man among because answer no better on you share dem no one can see him no. Parliament assembly piwo wa ye kan wodem. Many second deputy speaker aye honorable Amakwesi ama na speaker na yet no. In fact, we had a discussion on Ankasempo Kedo. Professor Michael Quay ni pronouncement will make in 2020 no in Yadren because we beat them no either court na wakawasa. It sounds on a youth in office and then na yin there. As some na yin on men is for example. On yaza was be yuma obobegu. In fact, Ankasempo Kedo because as some no here's a court no. Obama wata said okay waka but yama court in determine. In the but no wa Okado Obama ruling Thursday no. Oya mwa kaka. The one in the Sabakaya, my grantee interview I felt very betrayed by the speaker because me a majority leader. Nam is winning Zamo, Maba Winchino with them, ye based in command, the Damazi, or the Hobaba. And you give me assurance. Now, even bailiffs in power service process, so Chida Joda, into no Mahama, na Asam no Yaza, Butcher, in Boabia. So, if all of out of the blue, maybe be them ba no oho kaka. But anyway, yenteni na nsi ninyina etwemko in the MPP majority caucus has been affirmed there. Indeed, we are the majority caucus. The speaker here no onimbrem enyinara yenko nkodweno ho azenchi na yehu de Ghana so chen yenyinara Lama no speaker on a BBS in another. The Obotanamon na Wama Croye about chamber no. ahen MPP afamile dem be bia ye kan yazin baba ye juma yem peda basa baba Ghana so see no very provocative but ye gina ye nanado you make sure that ye yaza oze e ho baba and no kwan ya kwachemba ho because ye nuanom no wakatenten ye negodo na yen so ye kada ye by force ka ji negwa je yen tasam papa but usande ye nyim mbra na nyim de is abutan adwene nyansa na mpaebo ze yaza owie payenti yetwe yen na nde yankopon na adom mbra no akasa
ebra se me sha se eba no de di kan bra speaker to asam ne share da no mo kan se masore akọ achire musa recall se musa mra bio na mo koye speaker freye na so mo anko
no because yako yakatsan twen odubia mo sem di se bi ho ya tete
I tete
remember yabuta open yabuta emi bi so asam ne ya no asa na ya twedo impression begum majority what saying fa
meet you kasa
maybe we let's interact. Sometimes when we interact it helps because
no.
So you are saying you don't know?
When I bet you actually yes, what
no.
And to the chiremu motina hefa na fe
interaction. So begin then base your question, frame your question right because sometimes the way you frame your question it makes it
na maybe sa woni say wo na wo ye pani a wo da buku na no na wo fresh say mo samra back
into the yanko chamber
ana manko chamber na me say mo so manko chamber de enti na mo anko asema me bisa
you know the obvious answer you know that the you know
how would I know?
But I'm telling you because you know that from day one they sat on our seat we addressed the press and told you there and speaker was failing to tell them to go and sit at their right place. So if you say we didn't come, you see, sometimes the approach of asking the question creates an impression that we have resolved on our responsibility, which is not the case. Some of the obvious facts, I expect that you state them rather than putting it as a question so that I answer in response because it's an obvious fact.
Me state, who say me state? Me obina mi bisa wasem. Wo na 2 minutes kwa obetu ya church ensem ama obi o share sabiri ni pacho obi o share sabiri no beti ase yi
for the purposes of education for the purpose of the education when you have the fact you are not listening to me
you are
not listening you listen to me
also listen to me back with people na fe bremu me say ebra
I have heard you
when na betu ya church mu ama ya te ase say
opening my first interview with you can we have a smooth interview
sure.
Yes, this is my first interaction with you, so please adopt to my style. Let me adopt to your style. Let's do it patiently and neatly. I beg you. I'm saying that there are some issues that you in the media can state the obvious facts. It helps with an independent understanding rather than always knowing the facts and pushing the what is your explanation? You and I know as an obvious fact that from day one the NDC minority NDC from day one we move Katrin Yenegodo. Oyazo Obianim. And I'm about out to Kada Yabako Quatran, Yabatrian. Into that, you recall the parliament. Again, what about saying Yenegodo? What about saying Yenegodo? You find a young Katana. Yanuan Quatra. It's a young Quatra. You better train a court a bois. Into the create impression that you recall the parliament. Now showing a young Quatana. Because you're gonna yet to do. Why but Nado? What in Bremeno? Only the Yaka Giddy. Yenimbra, Yedzim Brado. Yebu Umbra. Into only Yaku Bumbranodo. Only Tina Yak Trian. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And she says, where Supreme Court says, Gino. Matis Mamusa what actually Elmia who be say ye can ye democracy and the decency say decency anywhere how do be na ye day e say aye kan you know ye mfa ne say bia mo akomrahye bedwom na se koba say de tie sa ne tie a mo be den
ye ntwen ye ntumi ana ye nyim ba ye ntwen
makenka obabi say wo say mum yahwe na yenje tumi a as speaker so the den no the power the grip as speaker so niam bi no yen mom ade se betumi na ye free say den na ogi say speaker ya amana ye say oya bunkam e de afa
nyabota mental question ase
okay me back me ba choba menchiro me bi say obi o e den na also say speaker ayom na se bedwamu a wo wa say oyam na se bedwani watene mo be ye perenu na se mprensa no wo gi di say eye bibi a ebi si omra sebedwam ama speaker di ba e kire say okwan ofa so eye ne niam no enye normal speaker for niam omoye
question mental say but maybe a question for
me me bisa ni say what na ma sebedwam be ye mpre be nine where when your speakers are
let me go this way maybe I you do know we need cool heads Supreme Court rule speaker na way to come yentre number Oba, we expect that only members or Zimbabwe Yuma, they to me.
What else have you come on? It be said your style of leadership, Nayana, and what she a young Paunis are.
Leadership is always situational, depending on the wind that is blowing. You would have to react accordingly to make sure that the interests of your people is properly protected. You don't expect everybody there about you leadership at all, but you must always act in the best interest of your people. As some no see no, is it can the need speak at Snadame. As some be already you can. No but na pado or good MPP for you any matter. My first step was to take a strong position to fight for the party. And that is what I did. Going to court. Everybody provoked us, set traps for us. I was to avoid those traps by staying away. Speaker, Obeye's press conference, or she said President Ahuroba, or she said Judiciary Ahuroba. But MPP, near them know what it is. And see, we didn't hit back at him in those unacceptable language. However, we stated our point. There's Orion on yet. What is it? If one gazana obil kadamasa when you be say the meaning pakone there, afenyo marking e ba ze pote na waya ana oya ofi there ontweye. They have none. In any event, you cannot have a one-way traffic to lead. You must have an octopus approach if you are to lead. And those strategies that you adopt would have to be diverse, depending on how you find the issues. And that is what I do. I may not be perfect, but I'm trying my best to help my party and the government. I have to lead in the pushback, because the situation we find ourselves in is not easy. If the man money in trial, immediately NDC speaker no occur there, a minority. Okay, there, your friend then President Mahama. No, saw a rally in less than 2 minutes. He started talking about it on one rally grounds, meaning that they had really planned what they were doing and intended everything will be in disarray. So, I mean, even my worst enemy should commend me for my effort rather than finding ways of attacking me. But this is politics, you know.
If attacking we,
you ask the question that somebody says. Let me say that I expect that even my worst enemy would commend my efforts. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
Based on what you said.
Okay. What about what you say? What can be said? The speaker, or who knows your henny? The speaker should desist from.
So don't pick me out of context. I'm saying that.
Entina a bibi bar ye be semua na watch him so be anya sanity be asanity. Say ma ohun no so or ye king and as emperor. The ma who do ben na speaker ye entia ma so say I said the no so ye king and as emperor.
Okay, so can we move past that?
And then I want to back with you na say be dwam tina bi sasa asem you.
When I meet him in the chamber, we can discuss that further.
E bi no kasa nkasa e betumi asolve no amicably anka enko court na sefo hunu ni sa.
But already explained my brother. I've explained to you that answer na ye ko file no. Ye speak a share. Nyame nkote menye second deputy speaker. It is in Komopi for the massam. And this officials that work at the massam that will be take action on them. In the before Parliament is set. On my assurance there, work a wasam no has a rule on it. But I say honorable Makwesiama. Until one I want to mention one thing maybe as was we kaka the court. Na yako court. Ya so kaka na yako court. And some no pumpu ni tribano. Edim don ni pay no take me. Ya kaka say. Ya kasa. In fact, the day no be ruling in Pono. I tried several times. The mission no call. The secretary was so speak on your muka no fan or rest. Only area before 4 o'clock. All the way inside. I tried. So let nobody mislead be there. Sabi. We don't create room for consensus of it. And after the bibinya yani papa nso. Papa no de bia ina ka sam wode mkwewie no. Ona dwen oyimpa no so or political party or join. No so one opinion. You know, you don't expect the time bia no onyo be adwen. And as a politician I understand. He's been part of the politics since 1992. He's been a minority leader, majority leader, and deputy speaker and a speaker. He's an experienced politician. He has his own views of things. And you can't force him when he says this is the way he's going. Until when he takes his final decision, you will now have to take a step back and say, okay, what are your options? The circumstances found ourselves in. The only option we had in the court.
Yeah, Dabena Mobile call Parliament view.
Minajina, Mr. Speaker, so Mexican marker there. Uniho, Sopa, the Beshe, the Owoka.
And Temina can bet me a government business in Navy and Sana Mapon. And I'm sorry.
Oh, that depends on how we discuss issues. It depends on how we discuss issues.
All right. That's it. And you may better than more about studio near to me in Komoyepa. That's it. Honorable Afenyo Markets. Sure. Honorable Afenyo Markets and Yanina Edin Commodian Corner. Your best uncle and this for so I fancy and you be as say Supunko Genesia West, you know. The Bay Juma, and I say Omonfa and Juma. Yes, I can this for you know Musa Banafi, Yatwa and Comacho Chenoso. Says I can see Musi, you know, at the more for a tenor, some say Makumako and song, our Chief Justice and Kasa Mame, Tokonu, and Nana Edano. Na emunum e kan say speaker Genesi no see na sanamuto no tuye no ene o mayimra pon ehia emumienu so kan say the speaker ye no eno ano no enti se ahwe na eye 5-2 ene kokosi ye Kofi Adams eye mna sebedwani e de mamanfo ewo buam abatu pesa so na bote kan wo so ye da wase e ma akwa aba enwumre bisa say decision a anasa ruling a Supreme Court emayi no mati na mote ye a muso musayin.
Well, because you mean here because not me interested in your omo area because me say uncle siaga so and nyadia me follow nya.
Okay, and the main can show Supreme Court akwa asetena nne amatimuafo makomako anson and etina asam no so emunum a kire say speaker Genesi osie say mrasejwa makomako nan no adampan no eye unconstitutional emra makwan enu ti Genesi no wonhwe nsan and the mumienu so said the speaker ye no eno ano no enti eye 5-2 in favor of the asam no court no afedu so machiro mu.
Well, third enu dey any surprise so on mekasa so good say me man waste me time kra anko sie nya ebesi was Supreme Court and say like the immediate past former Chief Justice lady Sophia Akufu say Omwa just to predictable depending on the audience and this is the same Supreme Court LGBT trumu sem ewo mwini adia ebe say o man adia ye numie emma o man ama benya ka say on fan instance the Supreme Court atna ho mundi asem no listening Now so omo find time say they can keep the dia omo di mirika e kwa koka wasem dey na oman no yebeko yi ade a edi no me dey pre oman no so no omo nni mu adaje a ombe this is the same Supreme Court he levy ho asem a Ghana for complaining nipa dodo a omo tena ase e pass sambra no na omo ndu number o say omo pass sambra no yedi ko be Supreme Court the beti ne asem no omo tumi ntai so Ghana for ankasa njeji say ade a Mampini, any the vice president Bawumia, any judiciary or my emergency or move or minor. Yankupon Bema opportunity say a better about come 7 December. Or Montua Papa, na ye Sabonino in 3 years.
Na yansha sese no sajire sese edan ya amobeti muna mo kokotina dom kase na fa se muna mo ye majority ye ne onunya fa fadwuma kan kase sese a wo se Supreme Court na ese na wasi no kire sese no edan na wo ma na still wo mo ye majority enti no se ekoba se ye den krata abram se na Supreme Court aka mo betie atwe mo akotina minority side ho ana se bia mo tie na wa na betina
in the first place no edan na ma MPP majority Omukura 137 seats. Yekura 137 0. Edian Yama majority. Mbraben is also a majority.
Nadida Danyina, and yet Sana Namoto.
Well, if we have tolerated Sadian for time, now we are not tolerating it anymore. They are tolerating before, we are not tolerating it anymore. Say, Speaker Ebeka, those times, now, yes, tolerating here, we are not tolerating it anymore. Because independent, only who can say or in a group. He can sit anywhere. Now, so want to make us say or joining a particular group. Only start to mean. But the other scenario, one side or the other. But the number needs to mean some party, CDM, now a party is a majority. So, more person or much, the between so.
Kofi, obi beka se mo atena se dada. Mo atwe sase mu ho so man kan hwea aka britia bia ma yato abai e na bia mo yesa. Obi beka se politics intina mo yan onika.
Say 2020 omuyi and you amwakwesi ama say now MPP member wakwa kojina independent ye yi ni free parliament. So omuyi ni free parliament. Enye bi fona no mo ye. So almost na sa ade no so sa adenti na na de o mu challenge.
Enti bibia mo tena ho na mbakwa kwotena.
That's why parliament dey take a decision dada. Supreme Court bet nya ye nya ombe. Ye ankasa na ye betena say aye nya ye so say ye. Omo fe a omo fa petition come speaker say on fair parliament medium. Omo fe a local court na bibia ye ni say o say ye.
Anya contempt of court na mo ye.
Contempt why obi di me akokota e na me ye contempt.
Anyway, Kofi Amfansi here ebrepam no ye be san ba onche bio why
yo
ye be hwe de besi Kofi Adams bua mumrahye bi dwan de ma endi sama yuko no na ono so eni di nkomi sa asem na fe na abanti no ye be koso ato ho adwene e de ho koma kopem se brepa bi ebe so nti we de ekwe ye be gina wesu ho na ya ko den kratiawa ye ba na afia so akase bo no so Adishima me adam asese bunya bretwa yan Africa se bone yeto aso.
Na ene isi yen centrofo nhyiamu eho e na ama me Jane Mensa edi to dwa se wo ma ye hwehwemu bi na hwehwemu na wo ma ye no wo mu bu o mani guso a enye yie eno enam so ama Philip Apiakubi wono ena bra ma me ekwadonko e kan chini gu ye no wo mu yi ne se wo ma meye Frank Akrani emfa ma Ghana Freedom Party no na enhwehwemu a wo mu ye no wo kiremu biomu a san hwehwemu yi emma ballot paper na wo ma print no ensesanye bia emmem.
Article 50 of the 4 of the 1992 Constitution reads, where at the close of nominations, but before the election, one of the candidates dies, a further period of 10 days shall be allowed for nomination. In that respect, the Commission wrote to the Ghana Freedom Party and asked them to present a new candidate within 10 days. In fulfillment of that request, the Ghana Freedom Party presented Mr. Apiakubi, who was before then the vice presidential candidate to Madam Ekwe-Adonko. The party presented him as the presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party. He and the party went on to submit their nomination forms on the 5th of November, and our technical teams went to work immediately reviewing the nomination forms. At the end of the process, they detected a number of errors and some illegalities with the form. The candidate's attention was drawn to these errors, and the party was provided an opportunity to correct them. They did that. In the view of the Commission, it was not in our bosom to provide the political party the opportunity to correct some of the illegalities that we found on the form. In that respect, the party did not draw their attention to it because the Commission does not feel that it is in its bosom to allow any political party to correct illegalities with the form. The Commission, therefore, as at yesterday, wrote to the party and to the candidate disqualifying him from contesting the 2024 presidential election. This morning, we are here to inform you of the Commission's decision to maintain the presidential ballot as it is. As you may be aware, and I believe all of you have representatives in the printing houses, we are almost 90% complete with the printing of presidential ballots. You are also aware that following the passing of Madam Ekwe-Adonko, we requested the printing houses to cease printing until the law had taken its course. Now that the presidential candidate or the nominee has been disqualified, the Commission would like to inform you that the printing would proceed on the current ballot as is, in the interest of time and to save this country millions of cedis.
We are simply for you now, Kokusia, Azerbaijan. Na di nyina ne se omo hwe ama wiemu sakraye se de wiemu wisie ko wiemu se ozole ya no ne awia ne ma hodo nso toto bi ne bia keke ss ne ma no obetumi ahwe na womo aye ho bibi.
Our technical potential for renewable energy is estimated at 135 gigawatt onshore and 157 gigawatt offshore. Last year, Masdar from UAE inaugurated the biggest in our region solar power plant of 230 megawatts. Aqua Power from Saudi Arabia is now at the moment constructing wind power station of potential of 240 megawatts. During COP29, agreement will be signed with BP from UK to build 240 megawatts solar power station in the district of Jabrail, which was liberated from Armenian occupation 4 years ago. And this project will provide decarbonization of one of the biggest oil and gas terminals in the world, the Sangachal terminal. By 2030, we plan to build solar, wind, and hydro power stations of approximately 6 gigawatts. But this is not all our plans. 10 gigawatts renewable energy projects, contracts and MOUs have been signed. And also we look at the export markets and work actively with our partners in order to implement another important energy security project, the Black Sea Caspian energy cable.
We are in the final countdown to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And time is not on our side. Exhibit A 2024, with the hottest day on record and the hottest months on record, this is almost certain to be the hottest year on record. And the masterclass in climate destruction. Families running for their lives before the next hurricane strikes. Biodiversity destroyed in sweltering seas. Workers and pilgrims collapsing in insufferable heat. Floods tearing through communities and tearing down infrastructure. Children going to bed hungry as droughts ravage crops. And all these disasters and more are being supercharged by human-made climate change. And no country is spared.
We also urge all member states and all key stakeholders present here today, particularly the business sector, to work collaboratively and find ways to make immediate serious action so that we can have this planet a better place than when we inherited it. More importantly, we need to do it now. And as the Malaysian Minister of Environment said at COP16, planet, profit, and then planet, people, and then profit.
Omampani dada esanso ye NDC amanyoko no Frank Ekreni John Dramani Mahama ene wokopie mu e wasante mante mu ne ho na ode to creative art industry nanim se senyame ya na dum na obaba be yo mampani bi mu a wo be hwe no wasi eye National Theatre foforo esa de amomo e wokumase na wo kanse mu eni na abra woni creative art connect program na wo mu de hye so no echis
film theater since China for boy you see Rollins Abreso everything there it's not been rehabilitated into kwana ko for many over bebre asay wo ho oh yeah exhibition and I be wo ho sometimes curtains no you can't draw the curtains stage no asay and you bebre asay room into emrena so say you see ho ye send a beya a bit to me aboa the creative industry. Na Osha manifesto mu 2020 ye true mu say ye be see a second national theater e wo Kumasi. Na ye 2024 manifesto ye sign repeat wo mu say nyame ya adoma say ye ba ye be see a second national theater in Kumasi. If you say Kumasi is the center of the arts and culture in this country. And so no see there ebehwe.
Ye call Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ono so tu franka e de ama MPP amayuko no so enchen woni amanfo wo akurufuma e wa santimantemu abato pesuaso so ahia na nasebo kan se wo munya ne mugidie na wo monto abanemfa ema no
wabra Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ere nyameso mu mpanifo betwetwe nkomo wa akurufuma abato pesuaso and o de to nanim se wono emfinsan wotwe ende de nanim finsan no yedi kan na we no homoden wo ya dwumaden se ne ben na wo kine bi no wasaba Ghana fo anim e besire tumi a Ghana fo benya ne mugidi na wato aba no e de amane biem enka ne Ghana mampanyin finsan nan pe no wo obo no homodi o wo mbo no homodi o enya de wo ne Ghana fo e wa kuntabu bia eni ntu no besire se wono e na wo bre enti Ghana fo nto aba no enfama no
ishishadi kan se me pese me de ba Ghana nyame adoma efa ekuafo ejuma ho me pese me ye ekuafo ejuma my number one priority me so me di ihihye bi eba when who said ye di efidie akoma district bia ye fan ye nkwai no me be district agric mechanization center every district bia yɛde efidie a ekuafoɔ ɔmo hia tractors, combined harvesters, planters na adeade yɛkɔhyehyɛ every district so that ekuafoɔ ɔmo hia ɔmo bɛtumi anya saa efidie no ɔmo de ayɛ ɔmo fuo edwuma. Menim sɛ mo number one how a ɛda enim ɛyɛ mo akwan akurofom enti nananom mepɛ sɛ mofa mo akwan momfa nhyɛ me nsam na meba mo wɔ kwan bebree a ɛbɛsɛ yɛyɛ nana abɔ so dada say from Kojo Nkwanta through Sikaman through Obuasi nyinaa yɛbɛyɛ mo akwan ama mo
na no akyire no akurofom hene nana enim agikum otoso mmienu ebo NPP aban aba so papaapa so waye wo momensini enempuntu ahyeto na asase so a na ni agye ho o sere se Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ba wona kwan wonhwe na wontu ho anamo
kufu ado baaye no opagya kuroi ma baye district ma sesia no wa me dan office aye mo adwuma agenda 111 ya mo kan ho asemi ni da so ampare mo de maye ada mi tumi banyo be de se de mi tumi nanti tumi banyo si enko ni enko hwe wo mo ko esi egusu gidigidi aya yeyo daje hene said ye onyame adwene ni akokodura wo de amma wo said ye Ghana fo age watum no saa na krofrom fo de wa hye yachi si e ba no ye duwa ye si e ba no asebi ebe ka kire bi ntumi se nim se untumi ndana ni MPP from untumi ndana ni maye bibie hia bia ni nim se omba ya maye de hia titiri bi a medi twato ni ye street be mi ensa na ya ewokuro ha no a o moja na adenje na ya ja okro no akwa wodi mfidie ya maye minim daba mbato aso makotuma boji kwa no abesina ko amaye o man nye nche o man nche kura yakopo boa ya tu abana ma wo si ya pe na wonya ba bi gina ama wi dem fura ko furu mu ade achi a edo asipi nyame hira wo
we ye be gina we so na ye twa ye ho mienu asa ababem
Area adishima ba ha na edi nyina ebesie na asa na ye ne mbedi nkra no me ka wo se situtwu ho e ade ho hia nipa se ene na nuonyam so betutwu se anopa anase adwumire a ya pause bakopi de nim fitititi ne din ene pepsodent de ba ma osian ye din de ba wonu ma ye hwam de ba ma osian ye fitifita de ne nyina wo nte abusuan chemfa so betutwu se a eno ane pepsodent bi din ade eja kwabena mene
Nana Ekia Kobi.
Yeni ebe so da mu nyina ase ama mdue ni onyuno.